beautiful butterflies. Lola Butterfly here. Um, do not adjust your screens. It's not a filter. My hair is actually blue today. I wanted to share a few more tips and information with you guys while it was on my mind. I'm going to try to go through a couple of the questions that I've been asked most frequently to try to help you guys out. So if I'm not looking directly at the camera or it looks like I'm looking away, it's because I'm looking at my phone trying to go through the questions that I wanted to remember to try to answer for you guys, and hopefully it helps. Um, so, again, I'm Lola Butterfly with the Beautiful Body Shop in Houston, Texas. And the first question that I want to jump right into is training necessary? When For people who are interested in these procedures or interested in getting into the business, it doesn't look complicated. It doesn't look like there's really much math involved. It looks like you're just, waving a magic wand over people's fat and they get skinny. But there are some technicalities involved, and training is very, very necessary. Without the proper training, for one, you won't get results that you're looking for. And most importantly, you could definitely injure or hurt someone. You could treat someone with underlying medical conditions that are complicated by cavitation or RF or any of those other non-invasive treatments. You could cause people to even get bigger if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what to tell them, or if you don't have the proper education. As simple as it looks, I just want to reiterate that training is very, very necessary. Um, Depending on where you live, and this is something that you'll have to do your own due diligence with to find out if training, certification, and things like that are absolutely necessary. With the type of equipment that's used in body contouring, um, some devices may be regulated where you live. You may need a certain certification, or you may need a medical director and things like that. So those are things that you definitely want to look into. The next question that I want to remember to answer is, should you use gel or oil? If you already are in the process, you've already gotten your machine or you're giving treatments and you're still a little bit, excuse me, confused about this, when you use ultrasound cavitation, you always want to use a gel. When you use RF for skin tightening, then you want to use an oil. Both of these devices require their own special conductors. They use different types of energy, and without the proper conductor, you won't be able to, excuse me, reach the fat cells that need to be reached in order to be effective in the slimming process, or you could damage your machine. Next question is, should you use gel or oil when giving ultrasound cavitation? For RF, you want to use glycerin. Glycerin helps to penetrate the deeper layers while also protecting the epidermal layer from getting overheated and causing damage or harm to the skin. Okay. Ultrasound gel, they make lots, but get something that's especially for ultrasound cavitation treatments. There's lots of substitutes that people use when they don't want to really spend money on the ultrasound gel. They use coconut oil, aloe vera, KY, all of those things. But none of those substitutes will get the results that you are trying to get. They don't help the ultrasound waves to penetrate to penetrate the way that they need to, excuse me, to destroy the fat layers. And also they could damage your machine if you don't use the proper products. Okay, let's see. How to pick clients. Um, well, you definitely don't want to pick any clients with certain underlying medical conditions. And those things, those contraindications, you'll learn when you go through training. Um, you won't be able to help everyone. If you have a client that's extremely overweight or has, certain areas that can't be treated using these non-invasive procedures, just be honest rather than have them waste their money and you waste your time. When you go through training and you learn the contraindications, you'll also learn and discover which types of patients you just won't be able to help. And most people are good candidates. So you don't have to worry about the few that you may have to turn away because either they're extremely overweight and most likely require a lifestyle change first. Even if they were to have surgery, a doctor would probably tell them that they need to lose a certain amount of weight first before they get any type of weight loss surgery or procedure, because sometimes it's just too much. That's the simplest way that I know how to put it. Okay, so one of the most necessary factors in these non-invasive procedures is hydration. It's very important to be hydrated. Their water intake is very important. If they already like drinking water, then that's great. If they don't, then they're certainly going to have to increase their water intake because how much water is in their body will determine how well and how quickly their body responds to treatment. Once we melt all of that fat, it's very important to flush it out. If you don't, then the fat is just going to settle, redeposit, and in actuality, you could end up, or your client could end up being bigger than when they even started because you've liquefied a lot of fat. So if they don't get rid of it and flush it through their lymphatic system, then all that liquid fat is just going to, it's just going to resettle and they could end up more swollen than when they began treatment. And you certainly don't want that. You don't want counterproductive results. And the second most important thing is a lifestyle change. If you have someone who's not very active, really overweight, there's no way around it. They're going to have to start changing a few of their habits, especially if they want their results to last. Another question that I get is, are the results permanent? Like with anything else, they're permanent if you maintain them. Even if you had weight loss surgery, if the doctor cut it all off, but then you just went back to eating burgers and fries and ice cream and chicken nuggets and McDonald's every other day, you're just going to get fat all over again. We're destroying fat cells, but you can always generate new fat cells. So you can't get fat again. That's why a doctor also tells you after any surgery, a lifestyle change. You're going to have to watch your diet, low calories, carbs, sugars, so on and so forth, if you want to maintain it. Other than that, the results are permanent if you take care of your body. Like with anything else, if you maintain it, it's permanent. Okay. Things you should avoid: alcohol, caffeine, sugar. In the first 48 hours after a treatment, no alcohol. And believe it or not, this is actually a deal breaker for some people. Some people feel like they cannot go 2 whole days without drinking alcohol. And the reason you can't drink alcohol or shouldn't drink alcohol is because it makes your liver and kidney functions sluggish. And we need your lymphatic system to stay stimulated and clean and clear so that you can pass out all that liquid fat and all those toxins that were released during your treatment. So we need your liver to be functioning at, top capacity. How many treatments does a client need? Just depends on the person. And also, you're going to want to, during your consultations, you're going to want to familiarize yourself with their medical history because genetics plays a factor, age plays a factor, their starting weight plays a factor, their diet plays a factor. There are so many different variables that can determine the type of results you get from each client. And once you begin treating them, you'll start to see how their body responds to treatment. And there is no one certain treatment that you'll use for every client. Every client that you have will need something different. So you'll have to customize your treatment and services to accommodate that particular client's issues and depending on, what they want their results to be. Some people, what kind of machine should you get? In my personal opinion, I don't think the machine matters so much as the technique that you use. You can have a 30K machine or a 40K machine, which is usually the most common on the market. and you can still get the same exact results. It just depends on the client and the technique that you use. You just have to decide what devices you want your particular machine to have, depending on the treatments that you want to offer. But really, in my opinion, I don't think it matters the machine you get so much as the technique that you use. Is 30K better than 40K? It is, in a sense that 30K can reach deeper layers of fat than 40K. Most people get confused because 30 is lower than 40 is number wise, but in regards to penetration, 30K is ideal, because let's say the top layer of someone's belly is 100, is the 100th layer. If you get a 40K machine, then you're going to only be able to reach the 40th layer of skin going down, or layer of fat, excuse me. With a 30K machine, you'll be able to go, let's say, 10 layers deeper, and that would be the difference. But again, I've used both machines, and I believe that most specialists will agree with me when I say that you can get the same exact results using either machine if you know what you're doing. If you're considering getting into body contouring, I would recommend that you invest in the training. Don't watch a bunch of YouTube videos and think that you can piece enough information together to run out and start a business. It's not as simple as you look. There is some technicalities involved, and there are some very important things that you will not learn from these YouTube videos. You will only learn by being trained by a professional. When you're picking a trainer, make sure you follow them for a while, study them, see how many other people that they've trained, Google them, see if you can find student testimonials, see how long they've been in training, observe their results, watch their videos, because a lot of people who have little to no experience will call themselves a trainer and, charge an astronomical price for their knowledge when they don't really have any. And then you'll find yourself having wasted a lot of money and not learned a thing. And it's important that you at least learn the basics of this business and how to treat people so that you don't hurt or harm anyone in the process. I would recommend maybe getting trained by someone who offers machines along with their packages. That way you'll have training on the specific machine that you'll be using, because sometimes that does become an issue. A lot of people do get trained, but they weren't trained on the machines that they picked out on their own. So they don't really know how to use them and how they function. So if you can, invest a little more and maybe get trained by someone who also offers machines with their courses, and you'll know how to use that exact machine, so you'll know what you're doing. And once you learn how to use that machine, you can graduate on to pick whatever type of machine you want. That would be my suggestion. So before you run out and then buy one of these machines and then try to start a business and you burn someone or cause someone to get sick and get sued and all those other types of things, definitely invest in the training. I can't reiterate that enough. Okay, so I guess that's it. This is going to be a short and sweet video. Hopefully I was able to help you guys with a little bit more information. If there's anything else that I can help you guys figure out or answer, feel free to comment and ask me. I would prefer to do these live. That would be easier for me if I could just talk to you guys in real time, but I don't have enough followers yet. So if you could please like and subscribe so that at some point I can talk, to you guys in real life and really answer your questions more in depth. So that's it for now. Lola Butterfly signing off, the Beautiful Body Shop in Houston, Texas, www.bubodyshop.com. Until next time, see you guys.